Welcome to my video S.P.L-400, Microsoft Power Platform Developer Latest Exam Questions and Answers Set 3. A company implements Dynamics 365 Sales. Only sales managers must be able to perform the approval to move high-value sales on in the opportunity qualification process. A new field must be created to capture the approval. You need to create and secure the new field. Which 3 actions should you perform in sequence? To answer, move the appropriate actions from the list of actions to the answer area and arrange them in the correct order. Actions. Enable field security in the approval field. Create a new field security profile. Set the field permissions for the new field to enable read, update, and create, and add the sales manager as a member of the field security profile. A company delivers packages to businesses and consumers. A custom entity named package captures the package details. You need to add the following sets of fields to the entity and leverage the built-in operations of the platform: a set of fields to represent the package length, width, depth, and weight. The maximum value for any dimension is 100 centimeters. A set of fields for time-sensitive attributes to calculate the efficiency of a delivery. The calculation must be based on a delivery is entered in the system and the value for a custom field named delivery time. Which constructs should you use? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. Requirement: calculate the efficiency of the delivery. Construct different minutes created on delivery time. Requirement: select the data type for delivery that has additional transformations applied before the data is displayed. Construct duration. A financial services company uses the Common Data Service, CDS, to develop solutions. The company uses development and production instances. You need to move solutions from the development instance to the production instance. What are 2 possible ways to achieve this goal? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. A. In the development instance, make changes to the solutions that are deployed in the production instance, export the solutions as managed solutions, and import the managed solutions into the production instance. B. In the development instance, highlight the solution you want to make changes to, select Clone a Patch, make changes, export the solution, and import the solution into the production instance. C. Export all managed solutions from the development instance and import the solutions into the production instance. D. In the production instance, import solutions with the same version number or higher when updating solutions. Correct answer, A and B. A company uses Common Data Service, CDS, and manages their engineers using a model-driven app. You create a new reusable custom component named Component 1 by using the PowerApps Component Framework, PCF. You need to package Component 1 for deployment into the model-driven app. Which 3 commands should you run in sequence? To answer, move the appropriate actions from the list of actions to the answer area and arrange them in the correct order. You are developing a model-driven app. The app uses data from 2 custom tables. The tables have a parent-child relationship. The parent record form contains a subgrid that displays the child records. When creating a new child record from the parent form, data must automatically populate in the child record form to reduce data input errors. You need to implement the solution. What should you do? A. Use a Power Automate flow to read data from the parent record and update the child record upon creation. B. Map table columns from the parent record to the child record. C. Create a business rule that sets the default values on the child record fields to values from the parent record. D. Include a quick view form on the child record showing the data from the parent record. Correct answer, B. A company has a Common Data Service, CDS, environment. All accounts in the system with a relationship type of customer set must have an account number. A plugin has been developed. When a customer is updated with a relationship type, the plugin sets the account number if not provided by the user. You need to register the plugin. Which 3 actions should you perform in sequence? To answer, move the appropriate actions from the list of actions to the answer area and arrange them in the correct order. Actions. In the plugin registration tool, select Register New Assembly. In the plugin registration tool, select Register New Step. Set the message to Update, Primary Entity to Account, and Event Pipeline stage of pre-operation. In the plugin registration tool, select Register New Image, change the image type via PL-image, and ensure the account number is included as a parameter. You are developing a Power Platform solution for a medical practice. You create a custom table named Doctors to record details about the doctors who work at the medical practice. You must be able to attach a PDF copy of a doctor's medical license to the row for each doctor. You need to configure the table. What should you do? A. Create a Power Automate flow to add attachments. B. Navigate to table options and enable attachments. C. Navigate to column options and enable attachments. D. Create relationships between the doctor table and the notes table. Correct answer, C. You are creating a package for a Power Platform solution. The package will include custom code and sample data. The package must include all files that need to be installed. You need to configure the package. Which setting should you use? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. Configuration option file that you must edit to include custom code.value package template.cs. Configuration file to edit to include sample data. Import config.xme. Configuration value for the copy to output directory setting. Copy always. You plan to populate records in a Microsoft Dataverse entity containing an option set field. The source system has the label for the option set but not the corresponding integer value. You are using a non.NET programming language. You need to find the integer value for the option set. What should you do? A. Use Web API and use a picklist attribute metadata request. B. Use the organization service and execute a retrieve option set request. C. Use Web API and use an insert option value action. D. Use the organization service and execute a retrieve attribute request. Correct answer, B. A travel company has a common data service, CDS, environment. The company requires the following: custom entities that track which regions clients have traveled, the dates their clients traveled to these regions. You need to create the entities and relationships to meet the requirements. Which 3 actions should you perform? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. A. Create an in relationship from contact to the region entity. B. Create a 1:n relationship from the contact region intersect entity and region. C. Create an intersect entity named contact region and create 1:n relationships to contact and region. D. On the main form for contact region, add lookup fields for contact and region, and a date field for the visit date. E. Create a 1:n relationship from contact to the region entity. F. Create the region entity. G. On the main form for contact region, add a subgrid to view country information. H. Create an intersect entity named contact region and create 10:1 relationships to contact and region. Correct answer, C, D, F. You are troubleshooting PowerApps solutions. You need to determine the cause for the identified issues. What is the root cause for each issue? To answer, select the appropriate options in the answer area. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. Issue solution checker completes a run and reports errors for one solution but completes without errors for a different solution. Reason a Canvas app in the first solution has errors. Issue you encounter an error on line 3 of a web resource as shown below. Reason the code uses the following rule: web use strict mode. A company uses common data service roll-up fields to calculate insurance exposure and risk profiles for customers. Users report that the system does not update values for the roll-up fields when new insurance policies are written. You need to recalculate the value of the roll-up fields immediately after a policy is created. What should you do? A. Create new fields on the customer entity for insurance exposure and risk. Write a workflow process that is triggered when a new policy record is created to calculate the sum of values from policy records. B. Update the mass calculate roll-up field job to trigger when a new policy record is created. C. Change the frequency of the calculate rollup field recurring job from every hour to every 5 minutes. D. Create a plugin that uses the calculate rollup field request method for the rollup field. Configure a step on the create event for the policy entity for this plugin. Correct answer, D. The communication department for a company plans to add a publicly accessible survey page to the company's public website. You must add the new survey page to the company's public website and capture data from the page to a Microsoft Dataverse environment. Explicit user credentials must not be required to write survey data to Dataverse. You need to implement authentication. Which authentication mechanism should you implement? A. ADFS. B. Azure AD Conditional Access. C. Azure Guest Account. D. Client Secret. Correct answer, C. You are a Power App maker. You are developing an app in a development environment. You create the following custom forms in the account entity. Form contains a message that appears in the onload function of the form. Form C contains a message that appears in the onSave function of the form. You add the forms to a solution and export the solution as managed. Importing the managed solution into the test environment produces an error indicating the solution is missing a component. You need to identify the issue. What is the cause of the import error? A. The web resources were not added to the form before adding the form to the solution. B. The solution must be exported as an unmanaged solution. C. The web resources were not added to the solution before exporting. D. A copy of the form must be made before adding to the solution. Correct answer, C. You are developing a model-driven app for a company. The app must map child records to a parent record. You need to use the column mapping feature to configure the app. Which two actions can you perform? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. A. Map the value of a choices column on the child table to the value of a choices column on the parent table. B. Map the value of a column on the parent table that uses column values from the child table. C. Map the value of columns on both the child table quick create and main forms to the value for the same columns on the parent table. D. Map the value of a single line of text column on the child table to the value of a currency column on the parent record. Correct answer, A, C. You are creating a Power Platform solution for a fitness studio. Members of the studio will use the solution to track their progress towards fitness goals. Personal trainers create programs with different exercises to match a member's fitness level. Members can opt into a program to submit information about their progress with exercises suggested by a trainer. Fitness programs and exercises have specific durations, prices, and dates. You need to ensure that members can see all of the exercises that a trainer suggests in their calendars. What should you use? To answer, drag the appropriate options to the data types. Each option may be used once, more than once, or not at all. You may need to drag the split bar between panes or scroll to view content. Data type fitness program option standard table with user or team ownership. Data type exercise option activity table with user or team ownership. You have a Microsoft Power Platform solution that includes Canvas apps and Power Automate Cloud Flows. The Canvas apps and flows interact with a third-party content management system, CMS. You store the URL for the CMS version, development or production, in an environment variable. You deploy the solution to a production environment. You observe that the environment variable references the development URL for the CMS. You update the URL value of the variable directly in the production environment. You need to assess which environment variable value will be used in the following scenarios. Which versions of the environment variable will the solution use? To answer, drag the appropriate environment variable versions to the correct scenarios. Each environment variable version may be used once, more than once, or not at all. You may need to drag the split bar between panes or scroll to view content. Scenario Canvas app sessions open during the update.environment variable version development scenario Canvas app sessions launched after the update.environment variable version production. Scenario Power Automate flows which have been saved after the update. Environment variable version production. You are developing a Canvas app for a healthcare center. You need to create custom tables for the solution. You have the following requirements: store information about doctors. Table type standard. Store information about prescription medications. Table type virtual. You are mapping data from an enterprise resource planning (ERP) system to Microsoft Dataverse. You must reference the name and email from the ERP system during mapping to ensure that records are unique. You need to create an alternate key that references the name and email columns. How should you create the key? A. Add a PowerApps command function. B. Use PowerFX. C. Add column to the account table in Dataverse. D. Create a key in the account table in Dataverse. Correct answer, D. You develop a model-driven app to include a form containing several columns. Two groups of users, named Group 1 and Group 2, will access the form. A column contains sensitive data that should not be read by Group 2. Group 1 must be able to access the column. You need to prevent Group 2 users from viewing the sensitive data. What should you do? A. Create a security role for users in Group 1 to grant users access to the column. B. Create multiple forms. Assign a form containing the sensitive data to Group 1. Assign a form that does not contain the sensitive data to Group 2. C. Use JavaScript to set visibility of the column based on the group of the current user. D. Create a field-level security profile for Group 1 users to grant the users access to the column. Correct answer, D.